the story behind Adventures and Adversities is not very dramatic, but definitely one that I'm passionate about. I'd been wanting to do a remake of a series that I had done before I was published, and that wasn't good enough to be published. But the stories I loved. The first one I wrote is actually, you will find the majority of the story that I originally thought of in Brothers in Betrayal. But I was plotting out, and I said, everyone who does medieval stories just does something about knights, princesses, and kings. I want to do one about a peasant. And I wanted to do this long series that showed the growth of this country and how it was shaped. But I needed to start with the very unpredictable times and slowly build on that and show the stability coming. But that even people who didn't seem to be of much consequence were the foundation for what a nation would become. And so, Adventures and Adversities was born. It was very interesting to start writing that book. I started writing it right after I finished the Destiny series, which meant the first few chapters of the book needed a huge amount of editing. There was a lot of the Destiny characters that were trying to get in there. Since 2006, Maria had occupied so much of my time and my imagination space. She had a hard time understanding she was going to be a star of every book I wrote. And so when I started writing Adventures and Adversities, I think in 2012, it was definitely an adventure for me. When editing it, it was very meaningful for me because I was going through a hard time just dealing with some depression and stuff, and so many of the things that I put in those books were things I needed to be reminded of. And I think that that's one of the amazing things about being a writer, is often you will write things and God will use them in your own life. Although it is a little bit irritating because you have to put them into practice, because you're telling other people about these good things, and you don't want to forget those lessons yourself. I think, to me, still the part about Adventures and Adversities that sticks out the most is the scene where Aldous is speaking with the priest. I don't want to give anything away, but for me, it was just the pivotal point in the story. It wasn't the most exciting, and there were a lot more dramatic points in the book, but to me, that is just like the point at which the whole story hinges upon. And that is the story behind Adventures and Adversities.